Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. Just want to quickly remind you again, there's a lot of different communication methods. We've got, phone. We've got the phone, the text messages, we've got email, we've got YouTube and comments, we've got Facebook, all these groups and pages. It's too much, we can't do everything. So what we do is, we do phone, if you're making a purchase or want to book your car in. Text message, if you like, and I'll call you. Basically, let me know what it's regarding and I'll call you if it's one of those things. If you want to discuss a video or ask a question or something, the best place to do it is on the Facebook groups, which we've put out there in these videos. So if you watch the videos till the end, you'll see the listing of the groups and that, and we'll remind you every now and that. Now with these comments here, we have a quick skim through, obviously, probably every now and then. And basically, you might get the thumbs up or not. You might get a reply, but it's very rare. So if you want to get some information or an answer, you're going to need to either shoot me a text message or ask the question on one of the on a Facebook group, the relative group. We've got a number of different groups there. Now, we're just going to do this every now and then and sort of go through a few of the comments, maybe once a month or two or three or once a year, whatever. So you could be waiting a while. So let's just have a look at some of those comments. Totally agree with you, Anthony. Even okay, so it's good that you agree. That's awesome. Not always reliable, particularly with the later the 09 onwards. That's why we're telling you, because we'd hate for people to rely on diagnostics alone, which is good on the 120s. And we're not talking about other vehicles. We're talking about 1KDs here. So let's not be confused. The diesel fitters, diesel specialists, mechanics that work on other cars. We're not talking in general. We're talking about 1KDs, right? Been watching this for a few years now, and it's time to say, look, this is the deal. You can't rely on diagnostics. So that was what that video was about. We've got Mitch here. He says, loves the videos. He's got a 1KD. That's awesome. Curious on your time claim of 10 years. Okay, so it's not a claim. It's let's get it clear though. I recommend changing injectors every 7 years. So, excuse me, it's not a time claim of 10 years. The claim is, it's not a claim, it's I recommend you change your injectors every 7 years. Now, I'll tell you why. Just give me a sec. Got a bit of a tickle in the throat. But we don't do edits and cuts and whatever. It's just how it is. It's real. So, okay. So, maybe a drink of water would help. Anyway, I'll work on that. So this is the deal, right? So we've been working on just 1KDs every day for a long time. I've seen a lot of diagnostics, a lot of old injectors, reman new ones and all sorts of things. We've seen them 10 years old at 30,000 Ks, 50,000 Ks, 70, 80, whatever you like. We've seen them 10 years old with 300,000 Ks. We've seen them 5 years old with 200,000 or 300,000 Ks. So we've basically seen the lot. And when you're concentrating on just one vehicle for that long, you get to learn what's what. It's a bit like, okay, if you're a diesel fitter or a mechanic, you can probably tell me, if I gave you a particular make or model of car, like, okay, a Toyota Camry, a 2009 Toyota Camry, it's got these tyres on it, what do you reckon they're going to last? And you're going to be able to say, well, you're going to get about 60,000 Ks out of them, right? And also with tyres, they say replace them every 5 years. The rubber goes average, and, you don't want to be sliding around on hard, old, deteriorated rubber. You want some nice, fresh, sticky stuff at the end of the day. If it grips, it might save a bingle, it might save a life, it might save your own life, your family, or someone else's, So, with injectors, it's not that. It's just saving 15 or 20 grand, because when people are in the outback and they crack a piston because their injectors are old and flogged, or let's not go on about the chips, we're talking about injectors here. So it's a big inconvenience and it's a big cost. So you want to avoid that. So look, at the end of the day, the 7-year thing, it's based on averages. Now, of course, you'll get longer, and there's people out there going, I got 10 and I got 12, and good luck to you. Your injectors are not good. I guarantee you. I'll strip down a lot of injectors, and once again, I'll thank the people that return the old injectors. That's how we learn and get good at this, and we can share the information with you. Basically, we see injectors at 100,000 Ks. Those command pistons are trashed, and we're talking by eye, not microscope. So if we have to get a microscope out, well, that's what you really need to do when you're talking microns. But if we can see it with our eye, that's massive damage on those injectors, and they're not going to be working right. And the diagnostics aren't necessarily showing it. So the time claim is based on averages that, what we see injectors that are over 7 years old are due for replacement. We think they last up to 7 years quite safely. We also hear of solenoids failing. It's an electronic item, I suppose, like your TV. It could fail at any time. So once things get old and flogged, and look, they're always changing the injector specifications a little bit, and new injectors, obviously the latest technology and updates, is the best way to go to keep it running right, to keep it clean, which is better for your pocket as far as fuel goes. It's better for the environment. It's better for our health. Diesel particulates, if it's average and blowing smoke, that's more particulates and crap in the air, more smoke coming out the tailpipe, more people hating diesels. Keep it running clean, keep it running efficient, better for the environment, better for us. And 7 years is a long time, but we've got 10 years here. So if you want to make it 10 years, that's fine. But 10 years is a very long time. Those injectors have done that work. So it's all based on, so to answer your question, time claim of 10 years, all based on experience. Okay, next one. Let's go down a little bit and see what else we've got while we're doing this. My mechanic wants to send it for an acid bath. Oh no. Look, you don't need to do, almost certainly, I want to send it for an acid bath, but it's going to almost certainly wreck the sensor. Well, do we need to talk about it? You can see Dylan, he knows what's going on. No need for that. Exactly. Just a decent cleanup. Look, you can send parts away. It's one way to do it, but you pay for that. And it's kind of, I don't want to call people lazy. It's a different way to do it. If you're busy, you send it away, you pay, whatever. Well, mate, you can put your own time and degreaser into it. It works out the same, and then you get to keep the money. But I suppose it depends how busy you are. My concern is acid and stuff can eat into the, parts like the alloys and that. And they it leaves a residue maybe that causes, it seemed to be very corroded, the parts, causes corrosion. It's, what's the word? Yeah, lost for words, that word that I want anyway. You know what I mean. The people switched on know what I mean. And the ones that don't, look, I prefer not to do acid baths and stuff, Just good, sort of like oil-based degreasers, Now we'll go down, next one. So now so basically the engine can't sustain the demand it was marketed for. Well, it wasn't marketed to sustain any demand. It's just a four-cylinder four-wheel drive, Vehicles weren't actually designed for towing, When they made a car, when they made a motor vehicle, they didn't have in mind that, it was going to tow. Somebody had a bright idea and put a taper on the back, started dragging things around, right? So it wasn't the manufacturer's idea. People just did it. And then, of course, it got more official, and tow bar companies came along, and manufacturers started doing tow bars, often made by the tow bar companies like Heyman Reese or whoever, ARB, make stuff for bull bars and whatever for the OEM, for the the brands and whatever. So and then of course what you want is what you get. You want efficiency and you want power. That's what you get. You get a little powerful diesel that ain't going to last. You want better environmental, at the tailpipe. You get it. You get a DPF and an EGR. You want it. Other countries want it. People want it. That's why it's there. And fair enough. We do need to look at these sorts of things. But in my opinion, I think there's better ideas. But anyway, getting off topic. So, you've decided to start towing. And, 2 tonnes not enough. 2.5's not enough. 3's not enough. 3.5's not. Where does it end? You don't want to tow your house around on the back of a motor vehicle with a 4-cylinder in it, So, it can sustain whatever it was designed for. It wasn't marketed to sustain anything. If you avoid chips, tunes, these sorts of modifications is the number one contributor from the calls we get and the people we speak to, see and hear from other workshops. Have you got a chip? Yep. It's often the answer. If not, it's an old flog set of injectors. So, or the combination is the biggest one. So, Denso fuel systems destined for failure. Oh, well, whatever. Look, Denso is a good quality product, mate. It's a good brand, good quality. So people just need to understand wear and tear items. It's like, what are you going to complain about your tyres when they come through to the steel belts, because you're just trying to run them longer than they can't sustain driving down the road. No, that's not right. It's just, things wear out. They're wear and tear items, metal wear and tear, metal parts rubbing together. Okay, next one, burger. 108, starting to blow a bit of smoke when you start in the morning. Signs of warning. Sure it is, yeah. Look, it's going to blow a bit of smoke when it's cold anyway. Again, it's hard for owners to tell what's normal and not because they've only got one vehicle or their mates to compare to. When you've got someone that works on them every day, it's much easier to compare from one to the other, right? So in one of my, I'm sure I put on YouTube in one of the videos there, I had my vehicle. We had it there. I don't mind, I just gave it the rev the nuts out of it. I floored it and just, it was basically as far as it would rev on and off the gas with a camera on the tailpipe just to show you, of course, when the engine was fully warmed up, to show you how much smoke should come out, and there was none, okay? And that's an old 120 Prado with, quite a few 100,000 Ks on it. But anyway, so Yes, that's right. A bit of smoke. Well, they can blow a little bit. You've got to be careful. If you haven't got an EGR solution, you can be blowing actually the soot that's in the EGR cooler. It's, while you're running around slowly, it builds up in there. Then you give it a rev and it all blows out. So is it smoke or is it the soot? You know what I mean? But by all means, if you're driving at night, you should not see smoke in your rearview mirror. I never ever see smoke in my rearview mirror of any of my diesel vehicles, and that should not be happening, because at night it makes it look worse than what it is, but you shouldn't have to push it hard. If you're just accelerating lightly up a hill and you see smoke, or when you give it a little bit more, you shouldn't see anything. It should be clear. So, get the intake cleaned out and all that. That's a good one. Okay, what else have we got? Awesome free advice. That's it. Use an tried and tested. If you're not following this, man, then it's all guesswork. Transmission. My 1KD, well, you're overseas, so again, we're in Australia, so we're talking about general information, what we see here in Australia. The transmission on the A750 F5 speed doesn't have a dipstick, and it needs to be set carefully using scan tool, all the proper procedure. So the one in the video is different. No, it doesn't have a dipstick. The 4-speed in Australia, the 4-speed auto, what is it? Can't remember, 3, 4, 3. Oh no, I can't remember the number, but the 4-speed auto in like the older Prados and the Hilux, they're the ones that had the dipstick, but I think they can't remember, might have even got rid of those. Anyway, get rid of that. Go. And next one, what resource mileage enough bearings? Well, I think I said in the video I'd be changing them at 200,000 Ks. On my vehicle, I'm going to change them every 150,000 Ks. I do a lot of outback remote travel. I don't need surprises when I'm on a trip. They can go bad very quickly, so yeah, as I said, I'm pretty sure I would have covered that in the video, every 200,000 Ks. If you're staying close to home within 100 Ks, hey, keep driving it, check at each service and change as necessary. It's the people that go remote places that don't want to end up with the inconvenience, which is why you change them as prevention. So this is a bit of a longer video, but I hope you get the picture. We're not going to do this too often. We're not going to go through them all. We're just going from the top down. What we do if we see these comments, someone's carrying on in a negative way. If you don't like it, if you don't like my channel, unsubscribe, see you later. We'll do it for you. You'll get blocked, banned, whatever you call it. So that's what will happen. We're just giving you the information for free. It's what it is. We don't post it or say it unless it's true, accurate and real. So it's just what it is. So no need to argue or carry on. Spongy pedal, yeah, when it gets bad enough, you will get a spongy pedal. When the bearings are old and worn, they have excessive play. Not necessarily. They can be old and worn and dry and not have any play. And they can be noisy, or they can be not noisy, and all of a sudden they can get noisy and then have play. All sorts of things can happen. So they often have no play when they're noisy, and they often have play when they're not noisy. So there's no absolute. Okay, down we go. Love your videos, keep it up. Just reboot my looking at doing the 7mm hole. That's it. Quick video where it goes. I'm pretty sure there's probably one on here somewhere. If not, we'll try and get to that. Thanks for asking. Definitely in the VIP group. So if you were to buy parts off us like the injector kit for the 1KDs or the wheel bearing assembly or the timing belt water pump kit thing, then you'd get in the VIP group. There's definitely videos in there. Lots of videos in the VIP group. Okay, Elmo the mechanic, that's it. Yeah, mate, yeah, mate, yeah, mate, you got mate, yeah, mate, yeah, I want to get in here and help me change that oil there. Yes, Elmo the mechanic, keep him quiet most of the time, but every now and then he goes off. Look, that's about it. Thanks, mate. Informative as always. Very good, yep. Scanner brand. Look, it's a Toyota intelligent test. It doesn't matter at the brand. They're very expensive. You wouldn't buy one unless you're in a commercial business, where you could make your money back. If you want to buy a good scan tool that you can do all cars because you've got a workshop, probably the Snap-on one. There's one for a bit over $3,000. It's a little small compact thing. Still does everything. I think that's pretty good value for money. If you're just a DIY, you just need to get that tech stream working. We've covered that in videos. Just search tech stream, search in the Facebook groups. People talking about it all the time, so we don't need to waste any more time on it. Excuse me, 1KD a second. And several electrical connectors were broken. Yeah, that's what happens, man. People are just butchers, and depends how well they get looked after. Some clips and clamps are brittle. Got any videos of how clogged it was? It wasn't very clogged, that one, because it had the plate in there, so it wasn't clogged at all. We're just showing you clean. It's clean. So yeah. And how to on and off was the point of that video. Straight talking, yep, that's what we do. We just say it is. Most people can't cope with the truth. You can't handle the truth. Exactly, spot on. They can't handle the truth, and those people they'll shrug their shoulders. Look, if you've watched the video this long, you're going to learn, because the sort of people that are still watching, hey, you know what you should do? Give us a thumbs up on this one right at this point, because, you know, if you're watching, you're learning. If a lot of people, you know, they've given it up. They gave it up ages ago, right? They stopped watching. They're the ones that miss out on the information, right? So here we go. We're dribbling on a bit now, as we do. And we say that in videos, we're going to dribble on. But you know what? There's important information in between. And the people that spend the time to watch and listen till the end, hey, do me a favour, watch some ads as well. Watch the ads till the end. Don't skip them. It's only, what, 5, 10 or 15. Every time you watch one, I get about 5 cents, I reckon. So maybe, I don't know, I haven't got any money yet, but, you know, one day maybe. The more money I make, the more videos I do. So, you know, it's mutually beneficial if you watch ads. Can I get a quote for injector kit? Sure can. Give me a call, 0490 261 013. Okay, I think that's the bottom of the page. So that'll do for this video. We're up to 15, 16 minutes. We'll upload that one. I hope you get the picture. We're not going to do this. You know, look at, we've just spent 15 minutes skimming through that many. If we did this all the time and sat there and had to type the replies, but we'd be spending hours, you know, hours, probably another hour or two every day. Not happening, you know what I mean? I've only got a certain amount of hours in a day and a week, and you might think I spend a lot of time on it, and I do, but probably not as much as you think. That's why I'm doing this right now, to let you know. Look, I appreciate, if you want to put a comment and say thanks and whatever, that's all good, but I'm trying to answer your questions in videos because I haven't got time to sit there and type it all out. So I hope that information's helped, guys. All right, you have an awesome day or week, and hopefully we'll get the next video happening for you soon. See ya.